Hi guys, Vechs here. Welcome back to the beautiful world of Skyrim. I have a shiny new dagger that has a chance to instantly kill stuff. It's pretty cool. And I upgraded it. It did indeed take ebony like I thought it would. And I think it does 6 less damage than my mace, but the mace swings very slow and the dagger swings very fast, and this has a small chance to insta-kill anything I hit with it. Uh, so I think I'm going to use the dagger. My primary weapon is the bow anyway, so having a lightweight... How much weight is it? 3! Yes. Yeah, I kind of see this is a very nice backup weapon, I think, for an archer character, because it's lightweight and won't weigh me down. As say, it's 5 times less weight than the orcish mace here, which is 15 pounds. So that's really nice. I was just admiring the view. I think my chest here. Hey, Butt Stallion. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. Who's a good dragon? Who's a good dragon? Who's a good dragon? Yes, you are. You're a good... Yes, you are. Look how cute he is. Look how cute. Look how cute. Oh, also, Butt Stallion has informed me that he is okay to use. Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. But yeah, the chest in here is we have a lot of stuff. Let me sort it by value. And I do have a lot of stuff I do need to probably take into town and try to sell off. But even with me right now, I have a lot of stuff I need to take and sell off. It's been a while since I've focused on trading and crafting. I've been going on lots of adventures. So maybe I think I will focus for an episode maybe on doing that kind of thing. Let's see, is there anything I need to disenchant? Probably not. Yeah. Yeah, the longer I go, the less and less new things I'll end up having to disenchant. Now what about the alchemy? I haven't... blue and blue. Oh, wait, that's a blue dartwing. Oh, blue mountain flower. Purple mountain flower, red mountain flower. Well, we can take wheat and blue butterfly wing. Huh. Oh, I think we needed wheat and blue mountain flower and blue butterfly wing. My bad. Alrighty. Well, can I take anything out of this? I don't think I can. What kind of clutter do I have in here? I'm pretty sure I do have yeah. Basket, bucket, embalming picks and scalpels, goblets, linen wrap. Actually, linen wrap is useful for skull. Linen wrap is useful for crafting with the one of the mods I have, so that's okay. Alright, I'm going to head into Whiterun, and I'm going to do some trading for a little bit. Alright, first round of selling. I stopped by the Drunken Huntsman. Let's sell my enchanted stuff. This won't take long. And then maybe that silver dagger. He's got 2 gold left. Oh, that was a perfect fit.
Thank you very much for your business.
And next business. Okay, second round. The elven sword. These forsworn bows. That hunting bow. And at this point, we're out of weapons to sell. Now we're on to the armor. And now he's out of money. Well, he's got a little bit left. Do I want to sell him any of this? Oh, maybe these embalming things. I don't want those. There we go. So that's the heaviest items. I think I do have
Good doing business with you.
some potions I'd like to sell. Actually, tell you what, why don't we swing by the general store? What time is it? 7:55. Oh, he's almost about to close. Bellathor, no! Don't close! Bellathor, please.
Let me know if you see anything you like. Everything's for sale, my friend. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Alright. I can sell him. I kind of want to keep the Mythic Dawn stuff. Kind of. That silver ring. You know what? No, it's just clutter. It's fine. Potions. Let's see. Clutter, the baskets. The goblets. The jugs. And I know I'm not making much money, if any, on these. I just basically using them as a trash can. A tankard. The stupid wooden bowls. Alright. I guess I'll hold on to the books for now. The potions. That scroll, the potions, the armor. Okay. Ice Wraith Essence. Yep, don't want that. Magic of Poison. Potent Stamina. Healing. Magicka. I don't really use yet these here. I don't really use these. Resist Frost, and we're already... He's already out of money.
Do come back.
Alright. I think all the shops are about to close. Let's see.
Come by Bellathor's shop.
No, don't close yet. I think they close at 8 p.m. Is it 8 p.m. yet?
Got something for just a
7:58. 2 minutes left.
You look rather pale.
I'm
So
fine.
you're interested
You
in
always
my
say that every
potions
time
and
I'm here.
ingredients?
You've got to work on your sales pitch. You just don't want to annoy the customer. Regenerate, healing. And you're out of money. Do you have any blue? No? No blue? Nope, no blue. I guess I will buy your cheaper mats, because it's worth it. Yeah, let's start with the cheapest stuff. And just buy anything that costs less than 20. Keep under 30. There we go. I should make that back pretty easily. And it may even help me level my generate health. There we go. I've been wanting to try to get rid of those. May even help me boost my speechcraft. I've made a good bit of gold.
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Yep, she just closed. It's 8 p.m. So do I have skills or in alchemy? I'm not sure if I've taken... Oops, I passed it. Yep. Yeah, okay, so here's the experimenting. I've been trying to hold off eating the ingredients until I get a few levels of this to make it more worthwhile. I also remember a lot, and to be fair, you can, if you go over here, you can just if you combine the unknowns like this,
I offer remedies for ailments
you can
both
often
common and
find
rare.
more
Do let me know if I can be of service.
What an amazing.
more effects than just one. Yeah, like that, I revealed 3.
City. I've actually never managed to visit Whiterun. Well, he's wanted to.
Well, now you visited the place. What do you think, man? I kind of wish I could...
Mara protect us both.
Yeah. The companions in Fallout New Vegas have a lot to say,
If
to
there's
talk
anything
about.
I can help you with,
The ones in Skyrim are pretty flat. That's
I'm
one
ready. Let's
criticism I can levy. Oh, we can refill our order here. Cool. Okay.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More
More
inside.
inside. And I've already drained all the gold out of the people who would buy armor from me. I have a lot of armor. I think that's something I can do off camera. Let's go back to the forge and see if I can make anything. I could easily power level smithing up, but I'm trying to do it more normally, I suppose. I just need basically the best thing to make would probably just be Blade's armor. These steel ingots are readily available by melting down steel weapons from bandits and marauders. If you want to throw some corundum in there, that's not a bad thing to make. This is pretty good too. 3 and 2 for 300. This gives you more. I'm just gonna go ahead and make the Blade's armor. Boop! Can I melt it down? Can I just melt it back down? Oh, I can. Why not? So I lose the leather and some of the steel ingots. So it's not perfect recycling, but I wouldn't want it to be, because if it was perfect recycling, like for example, how do you do this? How do you? Let me. I'll show this off. All right, so that and the gold ingot. I'll do about 1,000 gold worth of ingots here. I'll show a nice little trick. And I figured out with the recycling mod. So you come down here. This is rude. I think the best thing to do is the necklaces. Watch this. Alright, so you see I made all my ingots into necklaces. You probably know what's about to happen, don't you? It recycles at a 1-to-1 ratio. So I could just go and do that all over again. I mean, you can do it with as little as 75 gold. I mean, if you really want to be fiddly with it, I mean, just go back and forth constantly. The more gold, you just get a little bit more efficient. You have to make less trips back and forth between the smelter and everything. There's nothing stopping me from doing that to level up smithing, but I'd prefer not to. I'm going to get Magicka to 200 and then go back to leveling my HP. Speaking of the smithing, though, did I actually get it to... No, it has to be 80 before I get it to anything useful. To ebony is the next one. Even though I don't plan on wearing ebony because I feel like the cold is enough of a threat. Oh, I could do glass. The thing is, I don't care about glass at all. Enchanting. Yeah. There's a lot of trees that I think are poorly designed. The enchanting tree being one of them. The whole enchanting system with the charges on the weapons, I never liked that. I kind of just wished it would... I'd be a lot more interested in it if the weapons didn't, like, run out of enchantment ammunition and need to be recharged. Yeah, but the entire enchanting tree is just pretty boring passive effects up until this at the end, where it gets insanely powerful, putting 2 effects on 1 item. Heavy armor is another weird one, because it's got that right there. Like, the only time you would ever use that is during the brawling minigame, I think, and that's it. Otherwise, it feels like it's just a completely wasted skill point. And one-handed lets you... both weapon trees allow you to specialize within the tree. Like, let me see here. Yeah, specialize in axes. So you're going to dump 3 points into specializing with a weapon. That's actually something, if I was seriously putting points into these weapons, there's no dagger, is there? Attacks with war axes, maces, swords. It's a shame they didn't add daggers here into the sword. Like, attacks with swords and daggers have a 10% chance. That would have been kind of nice. I guess you just, if you were using a dagger, you just wouldn't bother specializing. You would get probably dual wielding. Or you'd put, or if you were using a dagger and shield, you just stick all your points in the shield. And then maybe, let me see here. Sneak. Bows. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Sneak attacks with daggers now do 15 times damage. 15 times normal damage. But that does require... So here's the... Wait a minute. What did that say? Daggers. Okay, it specifies daggers. So this is the one talent, I think, that specifies dagger usage. And it's amazing. 15 times damage is pretty crazy. I mean, I think that's going to instantly kill most things you use it on. No, this is kind of cool. The backstab is the backstab. I do kind of like that it doesn't specify daggers. It just says you can use any one-hander and backstab. So you could backstab with a one-handed mace, which sounds kind of goofy, but I mean, does getting stabbed in the back, is that inherently more damaging than getting stabbed in the front? I mean, let's say you're using a dagger with about 5 or 6 inches of penetration. It doesn't matter if you go in the front or the back. You're gonna get something vital. I guess the damage from the sneak attack there is that you've got the opportunity to aim carefully and properly place your attack to cause the most damage, because the target is completely helpless and unaware, and you have the surprise. And it's not about so if I'm gonna nitpick, and I kind of maybe not nitpick, if I'm gonna overanalyze, because I do like overanalyzing something, instead of calling it backstab, it should be called surprise attack, because that's what it is. It's the surprise attack where you get to place the attack properly. There's no, attacking from the back is not a requirement, and neither is stabbing, because you can use any type of weapon. You could slash, or you could use a blunt slamming attack. So the words back and stab are both irrelevant. They should rename it to surprise attack. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm rambling and overanalyzing, and I know it's not really important, so don't get your panties in a twist if you're like, what's he dwelling on that? I know I'm overanalyzing it. It's a hobby. Let's go for archery, except that I lack the required kajiggerbobber. No. Can I do... What is this? Oh, that's a crappy skill. Twice as many arrows from dead bodies. I don't bother with the expensive arrows. I just shoot the cheap stuff, because the damage is not that big of a difference. Except maybe when you get into sneak attacks, where the damage starts being multiplied, then the small damage differences might add up. But, like, I'm going to shoot steel and iron because it's cheap, and I can, like, if I miss, I don't really care. Oh, I want this so bad. Drawing a bow 30% faster is amazing. You might think at first, maybe you think it sounds kind of minor, like, oh, so you draw a little faster. But it's a big increase in your damage per second output, and it helps a lot when you're an archer fighting enemies using melee weapons and they're right next to you. Especially when you combine it with power shot. Yeah, where you stagger them. The more quickly you can attack, the more often you can be staggering them. So I have to I have to get this in order to get Ranger's Discipline, and being able to move faster while having the bow drawn is pretty nice. So there you go, gotta get it. I actually kind of like that because it, you know, by taking away my choice, and I think I also have to get. I think I have to. Oh, I'm not sure actually. I don't remember. To get to Bullseye, do you have to have both of these here? I don't think so. I think you could reach it with either.
You want something from me?
Nah, I'm good. Well, I'm gonna catch some Z's. I'm gonna go to sleep here in the inn, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Oh, a lot of traffic on the road today. The night passed uneventfully.
What do you need?
Yes.
Let's see. We sold all the armor, sold all the weapons. Now, where's all this weight coming from? Probably. Ingots. Yeah. That's a good source of weight. What else? I probably have a lot of I have a lot of food on me too. Well, okay then. I probably need to sort this out, and then I might.
I own the Pelagia farm just outside the city walls. Nimriel takes good care of things for me.
Oh, cool. And then I might take a break. But first, there's something I've been wanting to kind of do. I've been wanting to read a book. And I think that's what we're going to do today. Let's find a nice place to just quietly read, and hopefully Arander won't interrupt me. Oh, this looks good. It's not like you'll be able to see too much while I read this thing. This and the Armorsmith's Challenge are two of my favorite books, but A Game at Dinner is really good. You guys ready? I'll try and give you my best reading voice. A Game at Dinner by an Anonymous Spy. Forward from the publisher. The history behind this letter is almost as interesting and dark as the story it tells. The original letter to the mysterious Dwayne was copied and began circulating around the ashlands of Vardenfell a few months ago. In time, a print found its way to the mainland, and Prince Halalu Kelseth's place outside Almalexia. While the reader may conclude, after reading this letter, that the prince would be furious about such a work, impugning his highness with great malevolence, quite the reverse was true. The prince and his mother, Queen Berenzia, had it privately printed into bound copies and sent to libraries and booksellers throughout Morrowind. As matter of record, the prince and the queen have not officially stated whether the letter is a work of pure imagination or based on an actual occurrence. The house dress has publicly denounced the work, and indeed, no one named Dwayne, despite the suggestions in the letter, has ever been linked to the house. We leave the reader to interpret the letter as he or she believes. Nariscan, Publisher. Dark Liege Dwayne. You asked for a detailed description of my experience last night and the reasons for my plea to house dress for another assignment. I hope I have served you well in my capacity as informant in the court of Prince Helseth, a man who, as I stated in many previous reports, could teach Molag Bal how to scheme. As you know, I've spent nearly a year now working my way into his inner circle of advisors. He was in need of friendship when he first arrived in Morrowind, and eagerly took to me and a few others. Still, he was disinclined to trust any of us, which is perhaps not surprising, given his tenuous position in Morrowind society. For your unholiness's recollection, the prince is the eldest son of Berenzia, who was once the queen of Morrowind, and once the queen of the High Rock kingdom of Wayrest. At the death of her husband, Prince Helseth's stepfather, King Edwyr, there was a power struggle between the prince and Edwyr's daughter, the Princess Elisana. Though details of what transpired are imperfect, it is clear that Elisana won the battle and became queen, banishing Helseth and Berenzia. Berenzia's only other child, Morgia, had already left court to marry and become queen of the Somerset Isle kingdom of Firsthold. Berenzia and Helseth crossed the continent to return to Morrowind only last year. They were well received by Berenzia's uncle, our current king, Hlaalu Althin Lethen, who had taken the throne after Berenzia's abdication more than 40 years ago. Berenzia made it clear that she had no designs on reclaiming the throne, but merely to retire to her family estates. Helseth, as you know, has lingered in the royal court, and many have whispered that while he lost the throne of Wayrest, he does not intend to lose the throne of Morrowind at Lethen's death. I've kept your unholiness informed of the prince's movements, meetings, and plots, as well as the names and characters of his other advisors. As you may recall, I have often thought that I was not the only spy in Helseth's court. I told you before that a particular Dunmer counselor of Helseth looked like a fellow I had seen in the company of Tholar Sorione, the archcanon of the Tribunal Temple. Another, a young Nord woman, has been verified to visit the Imperial Fortress in Balmora. Of course, in their cases, they might well have been on Helseth's own business, but I could not be certain. I had begun to think myself paranoid as the prince himself when I found myself doubting the sincere loyalty of the prince's chamberlain, Burgess, a Breton who had been in his employ since his days in the court of Wayrest. That is the background on that night, last night. Yesterday morning, I received a curt invitation to dine with the prince. Based only on my own paranoia, I dispatched one of my servants, who is a good and loyal servant of the House Dress, to watch the palace and report back anything unusual. Just before dinner, he returned and told me what he had witnessed. A man cloaked in rags had been given entrance into the palace, and had stayed there for some time. When he left, my servant saw his face beneath the cloak, an alchemist of infamous repute, said to be a leading supplier of exotic poisons. A fine observer, my servant also noticed that the alchemist entered the palace smelling of wickweed, bittergreen, and something alien and sweet. When he left, he was odorless. He had come to the same conclusion as I did. The prince had procured ingredients to prepare a poison. Bittergreen alone is deadly when eaten raw, but the other ingredients suggested something far deeper. As your unholiness can doubtless imagine, I went to dinner that night prepared for any eventuality. All of Prince Helseth's other counselors were in attendance, and I noticed that all were slightly apprehensive. Of course, I imagined that I was in a nest of spies, and all knew of the prince's mysterious meeting. It is just as likely that some knew of the alchemist's visit, while others were simply concerned by the nature of the prince's invitation, and still others merely unconsciously adopted the tense disposition of their fellow, better-informed counselors. The prince, however, was in fine mettle, and soon had everyone relaxed and at ease. At 9, we were all ushered into his dining hall, where the feast had been laid out. And what a feast! Honeyed grapples, fragrant stews, roast and various blood sauces, and every variety of fish and fowl, expertly and ostentatiously prepared. Crystal and gold flagons of wine, flin, shine, and maste were at our seats to be savored as appropriate with each course. As tantalizing as the aromas were, it occurred to me that in such a maze of spices and flavors, a discreet poison would be undetectable. Throughout the meal, I maintained the illusion of eating the food and drinking the liquor, but I was surreptitiously and swallowed nothing. Finally, the plates and food were cleared from the table, and a tureen of a spicy broth was placed in the center of the banquet. The servant who brought it then retired, closing the banquet hall door behind him. "It smells divine, my prince," said the Marchioness Colgar, the Nord woman. "But I cannot eat another thing. Your Highness," I added, feigning a tone of friendliness and slight intoxication, "you know that every one at this table would gladly die to put you on the throne of Morrowind, but is it really necessary that we gorge ourselves to death?" The others at the table agreed with appreciative groans. Prince Helseth smiled. "I swear by Vermina, the gifter, my dark liege, even you have never seen a smile such as this one. Ironic words. You see, an alchemist visited me today, as some of you already doubtless know. He showed me how to make a marvelous poison and its antidote, a most potent potion, excellent for my purposes. No restoration spell will aid you once you've ingested it. Only the antidote in the tureen will save you from certain death, and what a death from what I've heard. I am eager to see if the effects are all that the alchemist promised. It should be horribly painful for the afflicted, but quite entertaining. No one said a word. I could feel my heart beating hard in my chest. Your Highness, said Alarat the Dunmer, I suspected of alliance with the temple, have you poisoned someone at this table? You are very astute, Alarat, said Prince Helseth, looking about the table, eyeing each of his advisors carefully. Little wonder I value your counsel. As indeed I value all in this room, it would be perhaps easiest for me to say who I haven't poisoned. I haven't poisoned any who serve but one master, any whose loyalty to me is sincere. I haven't poisoned any person who wants to see King Helseth on the throne of Morrowind. I haven't poisoned anyone who isn't a spy for the Empire, the Temple, the House of Telvanni, the House of Whiterun, the House of Indoril, the House of Dress. Your Unholiness, he looked directly at me as his last words. I know that in certainty. My face is practiced at keeping my thoughts from showing, but I immediately thought of every secret meeting I've had, every coded message I sent to you and the house, my dark liege. What could he know? What could he, even without knowing, suspect? I felt my heart beating even faster. Was it fear or poison? I couldn't speak, certain as I was that my voice would betray my calm facade. Those loyal to me, who wish harm on my enemies, may be wondering how can I be certain that the poison has been ingested. Is it possible that the guilty party, or dare I say parties, were suspicious and merely pretended to eat and drink tonight? Of course. But even the craftiest pretenders would have to raise a glass to his or her lips, and put empty forks or spoons in their mouths to play the charade. The food, you see, was not poisoned. The cups and cutlery were. If you did not partake out of fear, you're poisoned just the same, and sadly missed an excellent roast. Sweat beaded on my face, and I turned from the prince so he would not see. My fellow advisors, all of them, were frozen in their seats. From the Marchioness, Colgar, white with fear, to Kemma and Neb, visibly shaking, from the furrowed, angry brow of Alarat to the statue-like stare of Burgess. I couldn't help thinking then, could the prince's entire counselorship be comprised of nothing but spies? Was there any person at the table loyal? And then I thought, what if I were not a spy myself? Would I trust Helseth to not know that? No one knows better than his advisors both the depth of the prince's paranoia and the utter implacability of his ambition. If I were not a spy for the house dress, even then would I be safe? Could a loyalist be poisoned because of a not-so-innocent misjudgment? The others must have been thinking the same, loyalists and spies alike. While my mind whirled, I could hear the prince's voice addressing all assembled. The poison acts quickly. If the antidote is not taken within 1 minute from now, here will be death at the table. I couldn't decide whether I had been poisoned or not. My stomach ached, but I reminded myself it might have been the result of sitting at a sumptuous banquet and not partaking. My heart shook in my chest, and a bitter taste like trauma root stung my lips. Again, was it fear or poison? These are the last words you will hear if you are disloyal to me, said Prince Helseth, still smiling that damned smile as he watched his advisors squirming in their seats. Take the antidote and live. Could I believe him? I thought of what I knew of the prince and his character. Would he kill a self-confessed spy at his court, or would he rather send the vanquished back to his masters? The prince was ruthless, but either possibility was within his manner. Surely, the theatricality of his whole dinner was meant to be a presentation to instill fear. What would my ancestors say if I joined them after sitting at a table, eventually dying of poison? What would they say if I took the antidote, confessing my allegiance to you and the house dress, and was summarily executed? And, I confess, I thought of what you might do to me even after I was dead. I had grown so light-headed and filled with my own thoughts that I didn't see Burgess jump out of his seat. I was only suddenly aware that he had the tureen in his hands, and was gulping down the liquid within. There were guards all around, though I never noticed them entering. "Burgess," said Prince Helpthus, still smiling. "You have spent some time at Ghostgate, House Whiterun." "You didn't know?" Burgess laughed sourly. "No, House. I report to your stepsister, the Queen of Wayrest. I've always been in her employ. By Akatosh, you poisoned me because you thought I was working for some damnable elves?" "You're half right," said Prince. "I didn't guess who you were working for, or even that you were a spy, but you're also wrong about me poisoning you. You poisoned yourself when you drank from the tureen. Your Unholiness, you don't need to hear how Burgess died. I know that you have seen much over the many, many years of your existence, but you truly don't want to know. I wish I could erase the memory of his agonies from my own mind." The council was dismissed shortly thereafter. I do not know if Prince Helpthus knows or suspects that I, too, am a spy. I do not know how many others last night, were as close as I was from drinking from the tureen before Burgess did. I only know that if the prince does not suspect me now, he will. I cannot win at the games he mastered long ago at the court of Wayrest, and I beg your Unholiness, my dark liege Dwayne, to use your influence in the house dress and dismiss your loyal servant from this charge. Publisher's note. Of course, the anonymous writer's signature has not been on any reprint of the letter since the original. That is a great story. A game at dinner. And with that, I'll leave you guys to it, and I'll see you next time. When we will... I'm actually not sure. I'll see what I feel like doing. Anyway, until then, as always, don't freeze and don't starve. And don't get poisoned.